Well, our business editor Giles Beckford has been looking at the impact of the news on Fonterra and joins us now live from Wellington. Hi Giles, what do you make of all of this?
Well, first of all, I think we should note and see some perspective to it. $183 million, while it sounds a lot, we're talking about Fonterra, which is an $18 billion company. So from their point of view, it is a bit on the small side. Certainly, they've taken the hit to their forecast earnings. This is the extra money that they earn from their consumer commercial activities. That's the discretionary, flexible bit for them, so that's a sensible position for them. But they're a company that has between $300–400 million in cash at any one time. It has bank facilities. In other words, they can knock on the door of the banks and say we want to borrow, and they have facilities close to $4 billion. So this is not going to hurt them in any significant way. It's an accounting measure, really. They'll put it down as a one-off item. They will look, Terry Spearing's told us in the press conference today, they will look at the opportunities to possibly recoup some of this money in terms of insurance policies and whether there's something there. I think the real damage to this is that it revives an episode that was damaging in a reputational sense for Fonterra. And it hurt them from the point of view that Danone, who had been a grand client of theirs, suddenly just cut the business. Just like that, they lost all those sales to Danone. Danone then went out and bought several businesses in New Zealand, and to a certain extent, it's been nibbling at Fonterra's lunch. It's actually gone and has been making infant formula locally and in conjunction with Chinese partners. So from that point of view, it hurts them there, and it's a continuing hurt. I think Terry Spearing is probably being a little hopeful to think they can resurrect the commercial relationship with Danone. And from the other point of view is that Fonterra's international competitors, the Nestle's of this world, the Lactatus and other big dairy companies, they can sort of say, well, look, Fonterra, this is a company that's just been done for nearly, or more than 100 million euros as they all speak, because that's the currency that they're in. It's been done for a lot of money on an old thing. You can you really trust them? Do you think that you perhaps might like to do business with us instead?
Ooh.
So it's the reputational thing. It's another stick to beat them with. You know, I can fully understand that John Wilson and Terry Spearing's being quite adamant that this is old news. We draw a line under it, we go forward. It won't quite go away. It will linger there. I think the chances of being able to appeal, I think they're extremely limited. That's why they went to arbitration in the first place, because they didn't really want to go to court. It may cause them to rethink some of their commercial agreements. You hear quite a bit of disappointment there from John Wilson and Terry Spearing. They thought that the terms of their sales agreement with Danone meant that they would be liable for no more than $11 million if there was any particular incident, one single incident, or no more than $30 million in a year for any disruption to a supply agreement. Clearly that's been ripped up, not accepted by the arbitration panel. Perhaps that may lead to a rethink. I think for them, they've got bigger issues to worry about, in particular how they make further progress in China, which I have to say, it's central to their strategy, but by the same token, it's proving to be a very tough market for them to get themselves established in, especially with their partner, their being mate. So for Fonterra, it's costly, it's embarrassing, it's a little painful, an unhappy dream. Yes, they can put it past them, but the challenges for Fonterra still remain. The good thing for dairy farmers essentially is that the core earnings, that farm gate milk price, it's still intact, although at $6.75 a kilo of milk solids, which is the forecast at the moment, that's probably a little on the optimistic side. Most people have pulled themselves back to around $6.50, but for farmers, suppliers, at least they're not going to wear too much of the pain of this.
Thanks, Giles. How did the markets end the week?
Well, we thought the share market was going to crash through the 8,200 level. It did at one stage, that top 50 index, but it pulled its head in and it's finished just 2 points higher, 8189. The New Zealand dollar, 68.3 euro cents and 90.3 Australian.
Giles Beckford, our business editor. Have a fantastic weekend, Giles.